नमस्कार दोस्तों। आज हम फिर से वही सेम सेशन लेके आया हूँ और यहाँ पे हम काल जैसे हमने डिस्कस किया था। यस और नो? ओके। सो सिलेबस के बारे में आज भी हम बात करने वाले हैं और आज की जो सेशन होगा वो डिटेल्सली हम देखेंगे। राइट, दैट मीन मैंने कल सिर्फ तुम लोगों को ये 10 क्लास के अंदर साइंस एग्जैक्टली कैसे डिवाइड किया गया और उसके अंदर जो 5 यूनिट हमें देखने को मिलता है वो 5 यूनिट के अंदर क्या क्या हम पढ़ेंगे। राइट, तो वो उसके बारे में मैंने कुछ समझाया था। तो आज जो टॉपिक है, ओके, और आज पहले ये सेकंड सेशन है और हम आज डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं उस हर एक यूनिट का जो इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक दैट में क्या आगे आने वाले बोर्ड एग्जाम के लिए भी वो एक तैयारी होगा। ओके, और आगे आने वाले बोर्ड एग्जाम के जिस तरह से हमें क्या किया जाता है, कुछ लिखने के लिए दिया जाता है और ऐसे तो हमें कह सकते हैं कि सर एग्जाम से पहले बहुत प्रेशर भी आता है। तो ये सारी चीज़ों कैसे तुम डिफेंड करोगे आने वाले बोर्ड एग्जाम में, वो मैं बताने वाला हूँ। ओके, ठीक है। और ये कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है मैं पहले से तुम लोगों के साथ बात कर चुका हूँ। राइट, ओके। चलिए दोस्त, अब हम देखते हैं। सो कल जो क्लास हुआ था, राइट, इसमें हम सिलेबस के 5 यूनिट के बारे में बात किए थे। ओके, यू कैन सी नाउ these all are the units we already discussed yesterday, right? Okay, so इनमें से जो था केमिकल सब्सटेंसेस एंड नेचर एंड बिहेवियर, जो केमिस्ट्री के अंदर हम पढ़ रहे हैं। ओके, कहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं दोस्त? केमिस्ट्री के अंदर पढ़ रहे हैं। और एक जो है वो वर्ल्ड ऑफ लिविंग है। यस और नो? इसको हम कहते हैं बायोलॉजी। ओके, और एक जो है वो नेचुरल फेनोमेना है। दैट मीन ये नेचुरल फेनोमेना जैसे कि मैं कह सकता हूँ बेसिकली हम जो एनवायरमेंटल चेंजेस होता है, राइट, देखो, जो एनवायरमेंटल चेंजेस आता है इनमें लिविंग बीइंग का क्या इम्पैक्ट है बेसिकली। यस और नो? हाउ लिविंग बीइंग, ओके, इन्फ्लुएंस्ड with the same regions, right? That mean how they interact. ओके, तो उसके बारे में हम ये नेचुरल फिनोमेना टॉपिक के अंदर डिस्कस करेंगे। मीन मैं कह सकता हूँ कार्बन साइकिल, राइट, नाइट्रोजन साइकिल, then after oxygen, everything we have, all right, and how it deal and how they relate with us as a living being. That is the topic that we are going to discuss. Okay, so averagely I can say world of living and natural phenomena, both topic are in biology. All right, okay. Then after we jump towards the physics that we all know, the effect of current. Okay, effect of current. Effect of current mean here is specifically we are talking about the electricity. Okay, how electricity produce and what kind of mechanism are really happening with that we say the, yes or no, turning of the what turbine, all right, make itself current and that we use from the main grid. Okay, then the next thing is natural resource. Natural resource mean something we are going to talking about the fossil fuel basically. What we are going to talking about? Fossil fuel. Okay, okay. So this is all overall what we just focused to know, you have to study in the 10 class science. Okay, so let me first check what kind of topic that very important to cover the main theme of the 10 class science unit, that is chemical substances and their nature and behavior. Okay, that means we are ultimately talking about the chemistry. Okay, so chemistry mean it is totally deal with our what surrounding. Okay, That means what kind of object that we have around us, everything is made from the laws of chemistry. What I say? The laws of chemistry. All right. Okay. Then how it happened and how this law what act and what kind of state of matter that we see in our around. So that basically in liquid, gaseous, and what solid. All right. So these three kind of state of matter that I see और ये सारे जिस केमिकल रिएक्शन से बने हुए हैं उन सारे के बारे में हम अब ये केमिस्ट्री के अंदर डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. दैट मीन इनमें जिस टॉपिक को मैं पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ वो है केमिकल रिएक्शन एंड इट्स इक्वेशन. मीन ये केमिकल रिएक्शन ही फर्स्ट स्टेप है जो मैं खुद डील करूंगा, मुझे समझना होगा तभी जाके मैं बता सकता हूँ कि एग्जैक्टली जो पानी में हम क्या कर रहे हैं, लाइक हम यूज कर रहे हैं इसका जो केमिकल है ना, जो कह सकता हूँ सब जो नेचर्स हैं या केमिकली उसको कैसे रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है, H2O के साथ रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है. दैट मीन हियर इज H and O बोथ आर कंबाइनिंग. All right, and how they combined due to the reaction they shows. Okay, their nature shows that reactions obey that reactions mean ultimately they obey the laws. What exactly the chemical substance is showing their natures, and at a timely we also felt their behaviors. All right. Okay, again equation mean if I'm say equation is all are mean one kind of mathematical formula or mathematical term. Yes, then that mathematical term how it help, okay, the things become equal, then it can say as an equation. Suppose I have 5 oxygen, all right, okay, and what I can say, that mean I'm talking about I have 5 oxygens, that mean एक minute, wait for a while. Okay, listen, I have 5 oxygen, 10 hydrogen. When they combine, I got what? 5H2O. Okay. What I'm writing over here? 5 oxygen and 10 hydrogen. They combined and they form 5H2O. Mean 5 drop of water molecule. So here is the things is very simple. How much amount of element that we take to form a substance, and that substance result as the water, and this is how it due to that equation. Why that equation? As it tells about equal, you can also count the number of oxygen over here. You will notice oxygen is 5. Again, if you count the hydrogen, you will notice 5 into 2, which is 10. Or where is that 2? With hydrogen, that, right? And this is called 10 hydrogen. And this is the reality. We are applying this science in conservation of mass. Okay, or we say that laws of conservation of mass. Right? Okay. Next. So after knowing what? After knowing some situation about the natures of the chemical substance that we have around us, then there will be something which is definitely strike upon your mind about the question. Those things that around me is what is their natures? Mean ultimately I'm talking about the kind of taste. So when we eat sweets, we feel very what happy due to its sweetness. But when we take medicine, somehow we feel very better. We feel like yes, something uncomfortable. Then why it is so? as their nature is like this. And I can say acid, base, and salt of every element that present around me is having the separate test, and that test are described with acid, base, and salt. Okay, so acid, base, and salt more often they are the test of the whole thing that present around me with the help of chemical reaction, and that shows some test that shows are acid, base, and salt. After going to, okay, yeah, after this topic, I have to dive in the reality, and I have to question why. So when I ask the question why from this topic, then I most have to be deal with the elemental form of the what substances that around me. Elemental form of the substances mean here just before some time we are talking about the water molecule. And in water molecule we have two kind of element which is hydrogen and oxygen. And both of these element combine to form in a they combine in a proper ratio. Then we got water molecule, yeah, water particle, yeah, water smallest particle you can say. And the same thing, if I'm going to judge what is hydrogen and what is oxygen, then definitely I will try to think about its nature, mean how we are going to know their nature. Definitely we have to feel their behavior. Then after we can say yes, these things or these element are due to these metals and non-metals, and having their natures like this shows the test of acid, base, and salt. Right. So here is, my dear friend, I'm going to talking about one by one, and that one by one form is really important. Okay, and why it is really important is to understand something very properly. Okay, so most of the students are not known how to study the science and what kind of natures that we have to be source over here. Yes or no? Right. Okay. So next. Okay. Shallow. So here is we are going to understand metal and non-metal. Alright. And this metal or this non-metal are its what base form of every element. What kind of element? As they show some natures, and that natures ultimately defined with the help of an equation. And when it happen equation, if they react to each others, okay, togetherly they react to each others. And definitely there are certain rules that we must have to be understand, and that we all are all what learned in class 9 or class 8 or class 7 as well in CBSE board. Hope so you are directly getting into the point why these topics are important me to study in class 10. Okay, my dear friend, you never try to focus how much score you scored in your last exam. Yeah, how much mark you secured in the last exam, your last semester, your last or weekly test, what kind of situation that are going in your school or institutions. But still just focus the things how and why these same things you are telling to what learn. You never questioned that. So this question you must have to be deal and try to make it very try to understand with the help of the common sense, and that is you will get that common sense from your around. Okay, whenever I say water, then it is H2O. Whenever I say air, Mean here is oxygen, here is carbon dioxide, here is nitrogen. All right, so all these are the air particle, mean the gaseous form. And if it present around me, then why I have not questioned how it is formed? And the same thing is describing over here chemical reaction and it is question and nothing else. Right? Okay. Then after, why they behave like this? Is they having the certain differences. Which kind of differences they have? Like, definitely, they are the main differentiation that we are looking over here is term of metal and non-metal. All right. Okay. So, my dear friend, still now we are really not going to discuss the things what we are talking about right now. Just remember one thing: the basic part that you are going to deal the every class of chemistry. Okay, right? Here is chemical reactions, acid and base, and metal and non-metal. These three unit help you a lot, and that kind of understand you must have right now. Okay, so all right, the next topic, which is carbon and its compound. What? Carbon and its compound. So what is carbon and its compound? Why not oxygen and its compound? Why not hydrogen and its compound? Only carbon and its compound? Is it something different from the other element? Definitely, I can say there is something different. If that, then what kind of differentiation carbon has from the rest element? You must have question. And when you ask that question, I just already said before some time that everything around you will prove what kind of science that you are going to reading, you are going to learning in your school with your textbook, that the science book which is itself I can say 10 class science. Yes or no? But whenever you receive that book, we having a lot of praise, lot of anxiety that I'm not able to handle science, I'm not understand. Mhm. Every kind of situation, every kind of excuses that you're trying to expressing from your friends, parents, everywhere. But it is not that way. Science is for us, not for other. We having very uncomfortable with this around. Mean try to understand that uncomfortableness with the help of your class science. Do you all get my point? Okay. Yeah. So let me explain this carbon and its compound very sharply with the help of the around example. Yeah, in our surrounding example is that the carbon dioxide itself, which we are released from our body. Okay. Then you will say, sir, something you are taking that is oxygen and releasing the carbon dioxide. Mean the source that present inside to you is from definitely a carbon. What? I'm just taking oxygen. Whenever I release it, then they are not only oxygen, they are in the other, that means oxygen with other element which is carbon, and that is the carbon dioxide. Okay, this is the first example that we are definitely going to learn about the carbon and its compound. The second example is what kind of things that you have right now. You just try to burn it. You just try to burn it, you will definitely see the releasing of the carbon dioxide gas. Okay, suppose you have a plastic bag, you have a toy, you have like something, a tree as well, a wood as well. What kind of substances you have right now? If you burning them, then you will notice the releasing of the carbon dioxide gas. And if there is also happening the same phenomena, what happening with me in the every moment of time, then there will be question. I must have to be read. I must have to learn something from the carbon. What exactly uh, going with, yeah, what exactly happening with me in what kind of situations? or what kind of chemical reactions that took inside to my body, and how carbon helps. Where is carbon exactly produced? Where is carbon basically present in our around comes from? Everything that you have to question, my dear friends. And that is the first things that we must have to be asked before going to study the carbon and its compound. Right? Okay. Next, periodic classification of element. Periodic classification of element. So whatever that already we are talking from the making and breaking, है ना? So we started from the hydrogen and oxygen, mean the water molecule itself, and for the last topic over here that we are going to discuss about the periodic classification and element, sorry, periodic classifications of element. So here we are talking where hydrogen is present and where oxygen is present. I mean, ultimately or indirectly, we are going to talking about their home, okay, where they are now, how much distances they have right now, and why that distance will matter over here. As if I'm weight hydrogen, if I'm weight oxygen, then both are not equal. They are unequal. If they are unequal, you already know those particles are or those things are very light, they are present above. Those things are very heavy, they are present below. And the same thing that we are going to deal in periodic classification of element, not only the hydrogen and oxygen, but also 118 element, that they structurized, that they arranged in a proper way to represent their own natures, represent their behaviors in a respective house or in a respective what box. And that's we say that periodic table, or we basically say whom table is that? The elemental table is that. Okay, it is all right. But why classifications matter over here? And first of all, you think of village where people are reside very peacefully, and their house are in a what, like they're making their house in a line, and it's completely and properly, we can imagine a proper village. So that is all right. Which home that I have from that village, I will definitely going that home, not other home. That is okay. But still some differences. And that differences is, you all know what kind of cases that we are going in our society, that it must not be discussed right now. Okay. But it is all about the periodic table. So I want to tell something to you, and that is metal and non-metal. And this metal and this non-metal are classified, whether they are arranged in proper order, still they are classified, still they are different. Here is not only the number that they have right now are present in the respective box, but also matter over here by comparing that metals and non-metals. Okay, all right. What? Metals, non-metal. Or there are some of the element who behave like metal and non-metal partially. They are metalloid. What? They are metalloid. That's why. By the way, let me finish this topic right now. Okay. So the last point that I want to discuss you all. Okay. Wait for a while. Wait for a while. Yeah. Look, here is the classification, and this classification from the element is basically metal, non-metal, and metalloid. Okay, right? Which shows which shows what the different natures with respect to their chemical behavior. All right. Okay. So this is all about what chemistry is exactly talking. And now I want to conclude this session. And further, when I again come to take your class, then I will going to discuss about the biology. Again, I will going to discuss the physics, which you which is important more for your upcoming board exam. All right. So no need to panic. I am here to describe everything very properly to make you very understand. This is my promise to you. Okay. So if you're new to my channel, then please do subscribe and also make some make some sense to understand why I'm going to join with this channel, and also hope to at least question in the comment section so that I will get your exactly problem and I will uh, okay, we are just going to interact with each other. That's the first kind of what learning system, and that is matter over here. Okay, so I thank you. I thank you all right now. Now I'm just going to wind up these sessions and we will see again. Right. Okay. For the next update, I will see you in the evening sessions. Thank you.